that may live on past the life of the OHA grant. If you are requesting the purchase of equipment, we just need a statement from you assuring us that the OHA funding, that piece of equipment, will continue to benefit the Hawaiian community. And then we also fund travel. So we will fund in-state airfare, lodging, car rental, mileage, those kinds of costs. All of our applications are online on the OHA website, as well as more specific information on our new strategic plan. That, in a nutshell, is our OHA grants program. Do you folks have any questions?
Nancy, this is Keoni. Can you tell them, because OHA and ANA does not really have a form of partnership other than the revolving loan fund, but there are some applications that I understand that you guys provide the 20% match that is required by ANA. Can you clarify that?
Yeah. We were able to provide, or we are able to provide, a match. We're on the second year of funding for a project based out of the Big Island of Hawaii to grow maile. Maile as a lei used in Hawaii for important events, cultural practices. Hawaii, up to this point, has had to import a lot of its maile, and a Big Island-based Hawaiian Civic Club has come up with a project to commercially grow the maile here in the islands and employ Hawaiians. They needed the 20% match in order to put in for the ANA grant request. Initially, OHA was just able to provide a letter of commitment to the project, which was subject to the full approval of our Board of Trustees. And subsequent to that, our recommendation did go forward to the trustees, and the organization was able to receive, as I said, they're on their second year of funding to match their ANA money.
Thank you. And yeah, we can open it up to questions for everyone. I just want to remind you that there is a evaluation that we'd like all of you to fill out prior to the end of the webinar. And especially for those of you who are from Guam, Saipan, and American Samoa, I think although this might not pertain to you directly, I think the way that OHA does things, the way that OHA supports the community, can be hopefully replicated in other areas. And some of those mandates and things like that, especially for the people in Guam and Japan and American Samoa, you know, the legislative type of things, that type of approach is really something to consider, because it will only strengthen our own native populations here. So if any of you have any questions for Nancy, please ask.
Nancy, we did have one question come in. This is Kathleen, and individual wanted to know, when you receive the proposals, if they're found to be incomplete, do you just return the proposals without any comments to the individuals who sent those?
When we're checking initial eligibility and we find that it's incomplete, we do send a letter back explaining what was missing from the application. Each year we have a small threshold of exceptions depending on the volume of grants we get. Sometimes an incomplete proposal will still be allowed for consideration if it's something minor that's not substantive information. If it's a technical piece that, as a grants person, I want to make sure I have in the file, but the application has enough information for a reviewer to make a judgment, we will send that on to review. Now, there's a A second point of denial, as applications go through the review process, if reviewers do not make a strong recommendation for a proposal, when we send that update letter to the applicant, we will also be letting them know what the weaknesses were in their proposal and encourage them to apply in the next year. And we have had several organizations who have been denied on their initial year of application. They've addressed those concerns, applied again, and have received funding.
Any other questions? Again, I think that it's important to note the way that that OHA does things, and hopefully there are organizations within the territories and the CNMA that can step up to the plate and offer this type of support services for the community. Yeah? And I think that that's really, really important. And if at this point there is nothing, then generally follows the same guidelines. And I think that that's really, really, really important because you know, ANA oftentimes has the reputation of being the hardest grant opportunity to write for, but at the same time, you know, there are other organizations that replicate it. So if you can write for ANA, then you can write for anything else. So that's really important. Anybody else out there wants to make any kind of comment? Okay. So thank you guys all for